Welcome to the Orange Twist, your 10-minute shot of insight to shake up your thinking on leadership, culture, and change. Hosted by Giovanna D'Alessio, Master Certified Coach. Episode 26, The Invisible Leadership Drain. In almost every executive conversation lately, I notice a similar pose, a moment where the leader leans back and says quietly, "I don't know why I feel this tired." The calendar is manageable, the strategy is clear, the team is capable, and yet something feels heavy. And this heaviness is subtle. It doesn't announce itself dramatically. It accumulates. Leadership today requires an extraordinary capacity to hold tension, competing expectations, polarized opinions, rapid change, invisible fears about relevance and security. Leaders sit at the intersection of all of it, and the body absorbs what the agenda does not show. Think about your last 3 meetings. How much energy was spent managing unspoken concerns? How much attention went to anticipating reactions? And how much effort was invested in smoothing, buffering, or containing? Modern leadership is less about directing and more about regulating yourself and the wider emotional field. And that regulation draws from a reservoir, and many leaders are running close to empty. Energy in organizations behave like a current. It moves through conversations, decisions, and relationships. And every leader contributes to that current. When you enter a room, you bring more than expertise. You bring a state, a tightened jaw, a restless urgency, a grounded presence, a quiet confidence. So people read this instantly, long before slides appear. Your nervous system sets a tone, and tone shapes performance far more than policy does. There is a common pattern among high-capacity leaders. They anticipate problems before others see them. They compensate for gaps, and they intervene quickly to keep momentum. Over time, this becomes identity, the reliable one, the stabilizer, the problem solver. And yet, systems adapt around this. The more a leader compensates, the less others stretch. Responsibility tilts upward. Weight concentrates. So eventually, the leader feels indispensable and exhausted. Vitality drains when we consistently carry what belongs elsewhere in the system. A useful reflection might be, where am I holding more than my share? Another quiet source of depletion lives in misalignment, when decisions must be executed that clash with personal values. When cultural language sounds inspiring but daily behaviors contradict it. When silence feels safer than candor. So each moment of inner compromise costs energy. You can feel it physically, a contraction in the chest, a subtle bracing before speaking, a hesitation that lingers after a meeting ends. Multiply that by weeks and months, and depletion becomes chronic. Coherence, on the other hand, is remarkably efficient. When intention, word, and action align, there's no internal friction. Energy circulates cleanly. And teams sense this alignment. It creates stability without force. There is also the matter of fear. Rarely explicit, often ambient. Fear of losing influence, fear of becoming obsolete, fear of disappointing stakeholders. So fear narrows perception. It accelerates reactions and amplifies control. And it spreads. A leader who operates from quiet groundedness widens the fields instead. Curiosity increases, dialogue deepens, creativity returns, and energy expands in open systems. So, how can leaders begin restoring vitality? Start with attention. Notice the meetings after which you feel enlarged, and those after you will feel diminished. Notice the conversations that require performance versus those where you can simply be clear. Experiment with returning ownership. When a team member brings a solvable problem, resist the reflex to fix. Stay present. Ask. Wait. Name tensions aloud instead of absorbing them privately. Transparency releases pressure from the body of the organization. And practice micro-alignment. Before making a decision, pause long enough to sense whether it sits cleanly inside you. And these are subtle disciplines. Their impact is profound. And there is a deeper dimension here. Leadership energy flows most strongly when anchored in meaning. Metrics matter, targets matter, yet meaning fuels endurance. Reconnect regularly with the human reason behind your role. Who benefits when your team thrives? What future are you quietly helping to shape? So purpose restores oxygen to leadership. And from that place, effort transforms into contribution. Conversations soften. Authority becomes steadier. Perhaps the invitation for this season of leadership is simple. Treat your energy as a strategic asset. Guard it. Circulate it wisely. Source it from alignment rather than adrenaline. Because in environments saturated with complexity, the clearest advantage may be the quality of presence that you bring. And presence begins within. Until next time, lead with awareness and allow your energy to work for you, not against you. If this episode stirs something in you, subscribe to The Orange Twist, your weekly shot of insight on leadership, culture, and change, served with a twist. So join me next time for another fresh pour of perspective.